Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This is Zach with Zach Attack Cards, coming at you with the fifth and final video from the National. This is the Ripken review video, perhaps we'll call it something like that. Everything you're seeing in the background, I picked up an absolute ton of my favorite player of all time. He was definitely represented there. And as I said in the previous video, for those that aren't as big of a Ripken fan as I am, I'm going to take the time during this video, well, really the entire video, to not just go through the cards, but really gonna talk over the cards and go through, my thoughts on the National, what I think any rookie could do. And we're really just going to spend most of the time card focused on the left-hand side here, because there's some really amazing stuff that I was able to pick up, and I think that stuff will be far more interesting than just the singles here on this side. But, excuse me, with that said, let's get into it. So these are once again all in order, so you can kind of see the evolution of a Cal Ripken baseball card. Most of these costed $1. There are some that costed more. I won't waste your time pointing out which ones didn't. I'm sure it's relatively simple to pick out the ones that were more than $1. And they're mostly on the left-hand side here. So let's get into the good and bad of the show, right? So the show being in Chicago, best venue. I mean, hands down, everybody says it's the best venue, and I can see why. It was absolutely huge. I mean, they said that it was 660,000 square feet, and that could definitely be true for all that I know. Definitely wasn't wandering around with a measuring tape. But I will say that it was literally impossible to see the entire show. I went every single day, did not spend every hour of every single day there, because I did have my wife with me, and, we kind of used it as a vacation as well for that week. And, so I just didn't get to see everything. I was there the entire time for the sneak peek, which is the Wednesday, right? That kicked off, I think, at like 4 p.m., something like that, and ran until 8 or 9, something like that. It was only a handful of hours, but that was nice. Definitely not as packed. If you want to know the best days to go, it's definitely during the week. Saturday and Sunday, far more packed, but I think just about anybody could, figure that out, even being a rookie as I was. There's just going to be way more people that fly in for the weekend, and you could definitely tell that from the hotels. The hotels got way more packed Friday night and then Saturday and Sunday. But the first big thing that I would say is I did go with the VIP package, VIP ticket, whatever you want to call it. And I'll brutally honest, it's really not worth it. My recommendation would be get the early entry pass. Save yourself a few bucks. Because really the early entry is the only thing that I found useful about the VIP thing. Because other than that, I mean, they give you a VIP party, which I've kind of already touched on a little bit, which it's nothing more than like a pizza party. They give you pizza, water, soda, and then send you down to the show, where everybody has to then go to the bathroom. But other than that, they give you a swag bag full of junk, but it really is junk. I would say that there was next to nothing in there that was worth it. If you caught my football video from a few days ago, I think it was a few days ago, if not last week, there was really nothing in there. There were a couple of packs of cards that I opened in that video. The football one was really cool. Definitely nice to get a whole pack of rookies, but of 2023 rookies, but just not worth the price of admission in my opinion. And then a weird Jordan pack. I'm not a big Jordan collector, so especially them being newer Jordan stuff, and Upper Deck not having the Jordan or the Bulls licensing and stuff like that. It was it wasn't really anything special in my opinion. Maybe to a Jordan collector it would be, but yeah. So my opinion, stay away from the VIP, save yourself a few bucks. One thing that you will notice in here, I'm not going to point them all out, but anything that had protective film on, I grabbed, because when I was little, I took the film off of all of them. So I thought it'd be really cool to have one with and one without the film. So this is the first example of that. I think it's from the Leaf like Steel series or something like that. Really cool stuff. Excuse me. But back to the show. The show was incredibly crowded. They claim it was the most attended national of all time. Again, not having any experience, I guess I don't see how that couldn't be true, because there was a lot of people there. It was difficult to get around on the weekends for sure, especially during peak times. I would say if you went right in the mornings, most days you could move around and find the stuff that you were after for maybe an hour or two, something like that. Then it really started to pick up. Again, where the early entry kind of comes in. The other thing to say about the VIP, there's tons and tons of VIPs. Like it's not really any kind of like special exclusive type of deal. Like they don't really limit it that I could tell, because just from looking at the VIP party itself, it was held in a massive ballroom and must have had thousands of people, thousands of people easily. So yeah, just another reason to stay away from the VIP stuff. The other thing that I'll mention about Chicago, and this show in particular, the layout was terrible. That was a big reason I think that I missed as much as I did. I couldn't really tell where to walk. It wasn't always the people. It was difficult to tell where to go next, like where the next room was or something like that. Like it wasn't, they didn't shape it like like maybe a corridor type of system, or didn't really have signs that made life too easy, in my opinion, in terms of finding all the different like pavilions, the autograph pavilion and stuff like that. Now again, this is strictly my thoughts, and I'm sure other people had different critiques, but these were just my thoughts, again, as like a rookie going to the show. Some things that I think could definitely be improved upon in Chicago, and just something to look out for. I'm not sure what the setup and things like that will be in Cleveland, but I think some of these things could be applicable to that as well, right? So in addition to the bad layout, there was AC issues and from the sounds of it, it wasn't the entire show. It was it wasn't the entire building. Might have just been like part of it. I could be wrong about that, but it was incredibly hot for several of the days that I was there. I think they finally ended up, either they got it fixed or they had tons of those floor drying type fans that they just put on everywhere. That kind of helped a little bit. But my Lord, the first couple of days, you were sweating, like major league sweating. And that led to some unpleasant interactions, obviously, between dealers and such, dealers and patrons, but on both sides, So, one of my big tips is just be courteous, man. Like there's no reason to have that kind of standoffishness with the dealers and vice versa. I saw that on numerous occasions. But another thing that kind of comes out of that is, just pack some extra, stuff to help you smell good, whether it's cologne or whatever, because definitely some guys and girls there could definitely have done with that. After the first day, I was putting extra on because I knew I was going to be sweating. So definitely something to keep in mind. It's again, it's like a nice thing to do for everybody. You know what I mean? But also, again, being super hot and all that kind of stuff, led people to go to the concession stands where lines were very long. Lines were long in lots of places, though. I mean, lines for the Rapper Redemption stuff was crazy. For autos was pretty crazy. Food was probably the easiest, but there was still a relatively decent wait anytime you wanted food if you went to the concession stand, which is another thing that I would advise against. Did go to it just to kind of see this time. And I'll say I got a hot dog, a pretzel, and a water for 18 bucks, which definitely, don't want to pay stadium prices at a sports card show. So another big tip, make sure to bring yourself some snacks, bring yourself water. They don't really care if you bring that kind of stuff in. Definitely, put that stuff in your backpack. It won't cost you anything, right? Because again, that they don't care, and you'll have something to drink. You won't have to spend $20 on some nonsense like I did, which is something I started doing after the first day. So again, you live and you learn type of deal, but hopefully it's something I can pass on to you guys. Outside of that, that's the most that I would say about like the venue kind of deal. The rest of what I have to say is really more tips, for, again, mostly rookies, but they could apply to anybody showing up to the show, right? You're going to be on your feet the whole time. Very few dealers supply chairs. There were multiple people walking around with the portable chairs. You could do that if you wanted to. I wouldn't want to carry anything more, because there were times where I was carrying tons of cards, as you guys could tell from my videos. So best I could say would be comfortable shoes, man. Comfortable shoes, and get yourself some new socks. That way they're nice and they have that like extra padding because they're brand new. That's the way to go. That's what I had, and that helped a lot. But even with all that, be prepared. Your feet are still going to hurt if you're spending all day, every single day at the show. It's just how it is. You're going to be on your feet. Make sure to hold the cards higher. That way your neck doesn't hurt. I mean, all applicable to all shows, right? Not just the National, but the National, just because of its sheer size, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Like I said before, backpack, put water in it, snacks in it. Definitely card supplies is another one. Bring your own sleeves, top loaders, some boxes. I brought all that kind of stuff. And definitely bring a lock for the backpack. That's another thing, right? So not a ton of theft from what I heard went on at this show. Some, I mean, that's just the nature of what we do, right? But it sure seems like the Atlantic City show, which I did not attend last year, was worse. So it's real simple, get yourself a luggage lock and put it on there, right? So I flew there. I already had a luggage lock, slapped it on my backpack, no problem. Anytime just real simple lock, two things, bing, bang, boom, put the cards in, and you're back at it, right? Another major tip that I would give is go with a plan. Go with a plan, know what you're looking for. That will really help with the feeling of being overwhelmed, which is very easy to get overwhelmed. It's huge. There are people constantly moving around you. Know what it is you want to buy. That way you have something you can kind of target, and it will also help you save money. Obviously, I spent a good deal of money, as I said. That was kind of my plan the entire way, but at the same time, I knew what I was looking for, and that helped quite a bit. So what I mean by that is, like I said, you're going to see really some of the things I targeted, but if you've watched some of my earlier videos, you know that I targeted things like Major League Baseball Showdown, Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card. I think that was pretty much it outside of the Ripken stuff that you're going to see here. And it just gives you something to focus on, something to look for. Maybe there's signs, like things of that nature. It makes it that much more difficult to get overwhelmed. But you will feel overwhelmed, and that's fine too. Make sure to take a breath. You're going to be fine. It's a great show, and that's really what the thing is to think about, right? There's plenty of nice people that you can talk to if you really end up like getting lost or something like that. Another thing that I recommend is bringing a partner if you can. I was lucky enough to bring my wife with me. She has no interest whatsoever in cards, but she has supported me for a long, long time doing it. And, you know, it really helped because she was able to, you know, since she wasn't really interested in anything, she was able to kind of keep me focused when I was going to, you know, maybe a table that I had already seen or something, and just kind of getting lost. So if that's something that you can do, definitely bring yourself a partner. I highly, highly recommend it. And really the last major thing that I would say, right, is so card shows in general are changing, right? So tons and tons of dealers are taking more than just cash. They're taking things like Venmo. They're taking things like Zelle and PayPal and all kinds of stuff, even credit cards to some extent, right? But the number one thing I will say is bring cash. Dealers are far more apt to making deals when it's cash than it is with any of these other things. Whether it be credit cards, whatever, it's just, they love dealing in cash, and I absolutely don't blame them. It's just easier. It's so much easier to make the deal, right? And that's it, man. Cash is king. Bring cash. They do have ATMs there, but beware. Also check that out. They do charge, like most ATMs. I'm not saying that, you know, it's something special or you know, that only happens at the National. For example, the Chicago ATM fee was, I believe, $4, which pretty reasonable, right? But you also have to remember that your bank can charge a fee for using a third-party non-affiliated ATM. So in the example, I went to the ATM, and so I had the $4 charge, which, you know, you accept right on the ATM. It's simple enough. They do warn you that your bank may have an additional charge. I didn't think anything about it until I took a look at my statement and realized that my bank charged an extra $3, even for just checking my balance via the third-party machine. So definitely something to keep in mind if you can find yourself an ATM for your bank, obviously, that doesn't charge those kinds of fees. Go for it. But I do recognize at the same time that most of us will be in a more regional bank. You know, not everybody banks with the, you know, Bank of America and things like that that are more national. So just something else to keep in mind. Make sure to bring yourself enough money or have a way of getting it for, you know, without those fees if you can, or with the cheapest fees possible. And with that said, that really does it, wraps it up. That's really my thoughts on the show. It was a fantastic time. I recommend everybody try it. It's just a blast. There's so many things to do, and hey, it's sports card heaven, man. They really do have a little bit of everything. Sports, non-sports, Pokemon, you know, TCGs, all that kind of stuff. So with that said, let's finish up with some cards here. Some of the more quote-unquote special cards that I picked up. So what I have in my hand now are all numbered Cal Ripkens, which some are definitely cooler than others, but it was also really cool to just find old school numbered cards for the most part. Number 39 out of 10,000 from Leaf Limited. I already have one of these. It'll be interesting. It would be awesome if it happened to be like 38 or something. This is one of the more kind of plainer ones, you know, definitely from the 90s with like the gold foil. Donruss King of Kings out of 10,000. Leaf 96 Studio Master Strokes. Looks like it's painted on there. And that is out of 5,000. So lots of Leaf in here. Here's another Leaf. This is also 96. Hats off. Love it with the big Oriole in the background. I didn't pay the prices that are on these, by the way. So I'm just, you know, that I definitely wasn't paying that. It's crazy. rocket launchers. Really awesome 90s insert out of 5,000. This is one of my favorites. Love the look on this painting, basically, of my boy Cal. Out of 10,000. Once again, didn't pay 20. Might have paid 6, but made deals for most of this stuff. This is a really cool acetate slash, what do you call it? Die cut type cards. 5,000 hard hats. And we have Donruss, The Only Way I Know, Cal Ripken Jr. Kind of looking maybe with Eddie Murray in the back. 5,000. Donruss Studio 97. Another cool one. Looks a lot like the well, it is Master Strokes, just the next year. Out of 2,000. So I think that might be one of the lowest ones. And this is out of SP. Got that weird like medallion in the middle. Out of 4,500. Love my boy Cal. What can I say? Upper Deck out of 1,000, numbered on the front. Pros and Prospects. And this is an oldie yellow top loader. Definitely got to change that out. But this is from his final year, numbered to 2001. Love that one. And then got a couple from past his playing days, but still some nice stuff. Donruss Classics, numbered to 1999. We got Fleer Greats. This one's a little bit thicker, numbered to 1983, which I guess is what they're saying is like his first full season. I don't think he played the full 82, even though that was his rookie season. And this one was weird. I don't know. I picked it up because it was just a few bucks. Out of 1995. It's got the essentially the box score from his 2,131st consecutive game. Pretty cool, huh? And lastly, let's take a look at these awesome ones in here. And I see a mistake I made already. So there is a football one in here. Found a Rod Woodson, Darren Woodson out of 75. Thought that one was really cool. Darren Woodson I watched for a long time. Rod Woodson, of course, as well. 2 Hall of Famers. Both game-used jerseys. Authentic jerseys, personally worn and game-used. And also a non-Ripken, so apologies on that. Adley Rushman, rookie patch. So unfortunately, just a little napkin shot there. It's a little bit of his white jersey. But supposedly, this was worn by the featured player. So at least it was worn by him, right? I'll put that there. And now getting into some really cool stuff. I'll leave those last 2 for last. So my last target was relics and ultimately in a really nice auto. And I was able to nab all of that. And that's what we're going to show you here. So we have a career best from Donruss Elite. This is a bat, piece of the bat out of 150. Absolutely love these. Piece of his, is this his pants? One of them is his pants, if I remember right. Nope, this is still a jersey. So this is from, obviously, black jersey as opposed to the white jersey there. Thought that was pretty cool. Now, a couple more bats, this time from Miguel Tejada and Cal Ripken Jr. Why not? I mean, especially got Tejada in his Orioles uniform. He's a fun player to watch for a couple of years, numbered to 250. Moving along, we have Fleer Greats. There's his game-worn pants. So, slowly, just going to try to construct a full uniform and bat of Cal is the idea, right? So, love when they had, the authentic, check this out, contains a piece of authentic game-worn pants of Cal Ripken Jr. And this guy's not numbered. Donruss Studio 2003, authentic game-worn jersey. Now a piece of white jersey to 300. This is an interesting card. It makes me wonder, right? So this is a dueling duos, and it has George Brett and Cal Ripken Jr. on it, right? But just one piece of bat, and it is Cal Ripken's bat. So it even says, contains a piece of the bat from Cal Ripken, right? So makes me wonder that if it has dueling duos, you know, DDCR1, right? Meaning probably dueling duos Cal Ripken 1. And I wonder if there's like the exact same card with George Brett and maybe like a piece of bat down here or something, and, you know, without the Cal Ripken bat. But, you know, whatever. Just thought that one was interesting. Now we're getting into a couple that I didn't realize when I was there. The guy that I bought them off of had them in the wrong top loader. So you can kind of see how they push the swatch, you know, up to almost like, you can't really see it that well, but the swatch is kind of pushed back against the card itself. So it's got kind of a bit of a bulge on the back of it. I know it kind of sucks, but legendary game jersey from Cal Ripken, the man himself. Once again, white jersey. Another white jersey, game-worn swatch. This is from Fleer Legacy. So lots of Fleer, but again, they put your authenticity stuff right there, easy to read. And the final two. So these are my two favorites. We'll take them off. This one here, numbered 1 out of 9. This is a super cool Topps Triple Threads 70 Years of Topps relic, Cal Ripken Jr. The relics are not from any specific game event or season. Hopefully it means they're at least from him, but still, I mean, it does says game used, so thought it was really neat. So I think this is the only, those are pants. I think this is the only gray jersey that I got. So it got every color represented, and it comes with a piece of the bat. So super cool. Forget whether, I think I might have talked him down on it a little bit. Last but not least, the grail of the show, a Sweet Spot Signatures, Cal Ripken Jr., numbered to 250. Love, love, love this card. It is, and I mean, it looks a little messed up and beat up and whatever, but there is some dust on it and stuff like that. And it is a little beat up here and there. You know, you can see some whitening and stuff like that. So I didn't pay $175. The guy took $150, which I thought was a much better deal. Super nice guy. You know, knew what he had in terms of, you know, it not being in necessarily the best shape. But absolutely love this. I think it's so cool that it's, you know, a piece of the ball that he signed. But what I found really interesting about this upon further inspection, right? It says, congratulations, you've received a trading card that includes a personal autograph from Cal Ripken Jr. This signature was signed in the presence of a company rep or sent from and certified as to its authenticity by Cal Ripken Jr. So, not calling Cal a liar at all. Again, my favorite player of all time. But I feel like you're kind of saying there that you just had players send you autographs and you didn't have anybody there to witness the signing. So kind of makes you wonder if... was it my boy Dak a few years ago with the auto pen or whatever, where he was kind of in a thing about, you know, whether it was using an auto pen or having other people sign his stuff because people weren't paying attention. So seems to be a little bit strange there. I just thought that was kind of funny, but I don't for a minute think that it's not his signature. Absolutely gorgeous, and my number one pickup for the show. I had a fantastic time, as I hope you could tell throughout this 5-part series. If you stuck with me the entire time, let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you've enjoyed what you've seen, you can hit that little subscribe button, hit the like button as well. I'll be sure to bring you more stuff just like this. Definitely give you more tips when it comes to all card shows. But for now, I'm going to let you guys go do your thing. Thanks for spending time with me. It means the most to me from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.